Star School was founded in 2001, and part of our founding values was to be off-grid. We live in an area that's pretty rural and remote outside of Flagstaff, and there are no public utilities anywhere nearby. We were the first public school that was off-grid, and we've been running on solar for the past, I think, 23, 24 years. So we received a grant from the U.S. Department of Education through the Impact Aid Emergency Construction Program a couple of years ago, and the goal of that was to upgrade our solar power system. And the reason we did that was because the school's expanded significantly since it was founded. We've added a couple new buildings over the last decade. We've increased our enrollment. And I think another factor is probably related to climate change. You know, it's just getting hotter. We've had quite a few triple-digit days out here in the summers, and we're running evaporative coolers throughout our buildings. We have about 9 different buildings, each of them having at least one evaporative cooler, which uses a lot of power. So we were just realizing that our power needs were increasing. Our old lead-acid batteries were aging and required a lot of maintenance. So we were really interested in switching over to lithium-ion just because there's zero maintenance and would also free up some space because they can be in the same room as the electronics because they don't off-gas hydrogen. So, there were a lot of different reasons, and we were really fortunate to find the funding for this project, which ended up being, I think, close to $500,000. After we received this grant, the people from NAZ Solar Electric came in and really helped us build everything from the ground up. They assessed the system. We were able to look back because we're using Solar inverters, which track historical data, so we could look at how much power we were generating and using, which helped them to size out the system and really spec out what kind of batteries we needed, how many panels we could add. And they really did all the engineering from the ground up and made it a really simple process.
So we completely overhauled the power system, redesigned, re-engineered the solution. Now that we have good data as to how much energy they were consuming and whatnot, we basically put in an 81 kilowatt inverter system. We're going to have, with their existing 50 kilowatts of solar, adding another 40 kilowatts of solar. And the big ticket item, which is changing the entire scope of this system, is replacing their lead acid batteries with 220 kilowatt hours of lithium batteries. That has changed everything here because, the issue is the system hasn't been able to maintain a full charge, maintain consistency with the huge loads that the school has. They're averaging something like between 200 and 300 kilowatt hours a day. And that load is usually about 30 kilowatts continuous during school operation. So having this added solar is going to make it so that they can fully charge their batteries, generate enough energy. We're going to be pushing close to 500 kilowatt hours of production into the system off the solar.
Well, the scope of the project was pretty large. For us anyway, we had to remove the existing system that was only partially functioning, but save some of the parts. There were 6 solar converters that had been installed that needed to be reused. So we had to map out a lot of the existing wiring and reuse the inverters, and then figure out how to integrate the new inverters and the new batteries into an equipment room that was a little bit cramped. And then behind me is the start of the array that we're still in the process of installing.
So we do have wind turbines here on campus. Those were installed, I think, in the early 2000s, right around when the school was founded. And we haven't been using those. One of the disadvantages of wind power, especially the large-scale turbines that we have, is just maintenance. They have a lot of moving parts that need to be maintained. Ours are very tall. They're several stories high, so getting access to them is challenging. Unlike what you would find at a home system where you could just kind of drop it down and maybe do maintenance on it fairly easily. So we actually aren't using wind power at this time. It's all solar. And the advantage to solar is it's very low maintenance. Once you put the panels up, they tend to last for decades. We don't even really clean our panels. They get a little dusty sometimes, but we get enough rain now and then that they're sort of self-cleaning and self-maintaining. And now that we're transitioning to lithium batteries, the system is pretty self-sustaining, which is great for us as a school because we've got enough other things going on that, maintaining our electrical system and having it be a little more hands-off is really beneficial for us. So one of the great things about this system, we're using Solar inverters and charge controllers. They have an app that I can monitor on my phone. So usually the first thing I do on a school day when I wake up is I log into the app, check the state of charge of the batteries, and that kind of allows me to, even before I come into work, know what I'm walking into and if there's any issues where maybe the generator didn't start overnight. All of our facility staff have access to that app. There's also offsite monitoring that's happening through NAZ Solar Electric. They keep a close eye on it as well, and if they notice any anomalies, they tend to reach out to us pretty quickly and just say, hey, there's something weird going on. You guys might want to check into that. But it's really great. It has historical data. There's all these different graphs that you can pull up and look at how much power you generated, when the generator kicks on, and I'm a data nerd, so I'm really into that. I check it multiple times a day when I'm here on campus. I would say NAZ is a great resource for anybody who wants to go off grid. If you're thinking from, a mobile RV camper van application to a house or a cabin or to a commercial facility like we have, they can really scale to all these different applications, and I think are highly skilled in all levels.
If you're looking for a distributor that can help you with large-scale residential projects, commercial projects, really any project, our team at NAZ Solar Electric can help you. We can help you design systems, we can get you the equipment you need, we got you.